Thousands of McDonald's workers are protesting ahead of the fast food giant's annual shareholder meeting later this week. Staff want a minimum wage of $15 per hour and the right to join unions. On Tuesday, the Los Angeles City Council voted to increase the city's minimum wage to $15 an hour by 2020. At the moment, it's $9 an hour. Seattle and Chicago have made similar moves. Al Jazeera's Diane Estabrook has been to the rally in Chicago.
Thousands of protesters are making their way to McDonald's corporate headquarters, demanding a $15 an hour minimum wage. The shareholders at McDonald's are going to be meeting tomorrow, and they're actually pressuring the company to buy back stock, which would make it very difficult for the company to increase the minimum wage. It's already done that at its corporate stores by $1 an hour, but it says it can't pressure its franchisees to do the same. Now, the battle for $15 an hour for a minimum wage has been resonating with workers throughout the United States, not just fast food workers, but workers who work at home health care and people who work in clerical jobs. And it's actually having an impact on many communities. Just yesterday, Los Angeles said it was going to raise its minimum wage to $15 an hour by 2020. And other cities have also responded. Chicago and Seattle have also raised their minimum wages. So these workers, these protesters say their fight for 15 is having an impact here, and they're hoping they can pressure companies like McDonald's to do the same. Diane Estabrook, Al Jazeera, Oak Brook, Illinois.
We're joined now live from Washington, D.C. by Sarita Gupta, Executive Director of Jobs with Justice for Campaigns for Workers' Rights. Thank you very much for speaking to us. So tell us more about why workers are protesting when McDonald's recently announced that they would raise wages.
Well, first of all, I've been watching the footage all day today from Illinois, and it's really inspiring. And the demonstrations that we see are echoing the rising demand across the country of men and women who work at McDonald's and our communities who are demanding that McDonald's actually invest in the very people who have made the company successful every single day versus just meeting the needs of shareholders and investors. You know, there are so many workers, as was reported in the segment before, that they're just changing the conversation in America today around raising wages. And let's be clear, McDonald's announcement that they made of increasing wages to $9.50 an hour really only impacts less than 10% of their employees. And so what that means is that McDonald's isn't really appreciating the real challenges that men and women who work there are experiencing every day just to make ends meet, to be able to put food on their own tables,
right,
to be able to pay the rent.
I mean, a lot of those workers, a lot of those employees that are protesting, they argue that this doesn't really make much of a difference to them, and it's affecting too few workers, as you say. But then McDonald's is saying, look, we can't put pressure on our franchises to pay the employees more money. So how difficult is it to get around that? I mean, are they, these protests being directed at McDonald's, is it being directed at the, at the right body, if you like? Because these wage increases, McDonald's says that this isn't something that they can control. And of course, the franchises operate thousands of restaurants right across the United States.
Right. So let's be clear that the franchises that make up McDonald's are not small mom-and-pop chains. These are entities that very much are controlled by McDonald's headquarters. McDonald's actually has the ability to set the standard and set the way. They can, in fact, encourage their franchisees to pay workers $15 an hour. And what we found is in organizing workers at the franchisee level, they're caught in a game where the franchises say they are not able to do it if the headquarters doesn't tell them they can do it, and the headquarters claims they can't do it because it'd be hard for them to pressure franchisees. At the end of the day, what we know is that working men and women at McDonald's need to see a wage increase in order to really be able to participate in the economy, be able to support themselves. What we also know is that too many profitable corporations like McDonald's and Walmart is another example, are shifting too much of the cost of their businesses onto taxpayers. And so in communities across the country, taxpayers are having to pay for the social programs that many of these workers are having to depend on to survive. And so what we're saying is enough is enough. There has to be an ability. This is a very profitable corporation that has the ability to pay their employees $15 an hour.
Sarita Gupta, thank you very much.